We're mic'd up with Montgomery.
Welcome to Real Talk, where real estate meets real conversations.
I'm Sean Harvey.
I'm Brittany Newhart.
Are you?
Yes,
Still?
I am.
Okay.
Still today.
Okay, good.
You know, so forever.
What's new today, Brittany?
Not much. You know, we were just talking about how men are different. So different. So, you know, you just get to wake up and show up. It's so nice. And I have to get ready and get my hair done and my makeup done. Today I didn't. I went and
Wake up and show up. That's it.
I wish.
Oh, my.
That'd be the dream.
Yeah. I don't think that's how it works for me either.
Yeah.
So wake up and show up.
You know, it's funny. I was like, oh gosh, I have nothing to do today. But I'm doing so much. But in my head, I'm like, if I don't have to be somewhere at a certain time, then I don't have anything to do.
I had nothing to do today,
Isn't
too.
And
now I have everything to do today.
Isn't that funny? But yeah, I was like, oh, I have like the day off. I'm free. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, like we got to reschedule this closing. And then I have an accepted offer. So let's print some papers for that. And then it's like, oh, I have a showing and a new buyer and a new listing. And it's like, oh, never mind. I actually have a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
And then I told my parents like, oh, I'll go finish up your tile work. And then it's just so hot.
The day's going to be gone.
But I still in my head, I'm like, I have nothing to do. It's great.
Sure.
Good
luck with that.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah. I got at least one, maybe two texts today that said, I just need a half hour of your time. And I'm like,
I was scheduled.
What time? What time?
It's a crap. Yep, that's about how it goes. So
that is what I texted Brittany today. I said, she's like, what time do you want to record? I said, I don't know. It's a crapshoot either way. Yeah, so let's just go.
Yeah. That's where I was like, I'm just going to come down here and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Not at 11 because I've got a closing, but
hey, look at you go. Yeah. It's always nice. Are we celebrating tonight?
I should be.
Yeah. Sometimes you need to celebrate, not because it's like, oh, cool, I made money. No, because we got there.
We made it. Yep. We made it. Yeah.
Didn't know if we were going to make it. So. No. My question for you, Sean, today is, where were you June 2015? Where were you 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
What were you doing?
Well, I was probably working at Premier Equipment.
Oh, yeah.
So working out of my office there, I was selling vehicles, trailers, and doing marketing.
Yeah. So you were married, kids, but
yeah. My kids are 13 and 18.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, I didn't have kids yet. I didn't have my husband. I was even with my husband. I was in college. I was between my first and second year of college, and I went for an egg degree. So like,
well, that's really close to what you're doing.
Left field. It wasn't even close to like my long career when I was doing massage therapy. So like, I still have that business, but I did that for 8 years. So I still haven't. Yeah. I was way left field. Yeah. I was sitting on customer service phone calls. That's what I did. So
you could go back 15 years and I'd be like, yep, I was at work that day.
I was at work that day. Yeah. That's where I was like, it's crazy because 10 years ago, I did not see myself in this career. Like you were a little bit closer. You were more like you were in sales.
Yeah, sales.
Yeah. I was egg degree. But I was teaching farmers how to use like newer equipment, you know, like all the GPS stuff and that.
I have a degree in marketing,
a lot of fun.
Management, and sales. So
agriculture.
There you go.
I know. I should be selling more farmland. Come on.
What the heck?
Yeah. Be like, I'll sell your farmland and teach you how to.
Actually, my 20-year class reunion is this year.
Oh my gosh. I had my.
So I've been out of high school for that long.
10-year last year. And they didn't do anything.
Yeah, my class is having a big thing, I guess. Yeah. I have not RSVP'd yet.
Oh my gosh, you have to go, Sean.
And the deadline is Monday.
Yeah, you're from here on, so it's in town.
It's in town.
You have no excuse. You have no excuse.
To go or not to go?
To go or not to go. They'll find you. No, I don't know. I feel like 10 years ago, I'm happy where I'm at now. I feel like this is the right direction. I don't feel like I was like, wow, I had so much more going for me back then. Right. And now I think I'm more where I want to be.
Yeah, it seems like every year we pile more stuff on, but it's like, okay, well, we're just trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't work for us, you know, and you just keep growing. I feel like if you don't keep growing, though, you're just going to, I mean, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but if you can keep pushing yourself always, I think it's good.
Yeah. I think I've always had the mindset, though, of, like, I want to work for myself. Like, I don't want somebody else telling me my hours. Like, yeah, when you have buyers and sellers, they're kind of being like, this is what time I have to do this. So you kind of work around it. But I feel more in control of my career with real
Right.
estate wise, and even massage wise, like my massage
Well,
career
real
and owning
estate,
that
it's
business is easy.
really what you make of it and how hard you push and what comes in, and it's a lot of variables, but everything you're doing right now is for you.
Yeah, and that's what's nice. Like I don't want to say I'm not good at having people tell me what to do, but I
It's
think
very true.
I think that it is hard though. It's hard to like be that kind of person where it's like I want this different type of career and then you get stuck. Like I was sitting so like my first egg degree part, what I did and stuff, I went out and I was like teaching people in the field. It was so much fun. I was
Sure.
talking to people. I was like riding with farmers while teaching them stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then after I finished my degree, I was sitting I was at John Deere here and not here in Huron, but in Chamberlain. And I was on customer service phone calls all day long.
Oh,
Yeah. And I was
that'd be
like,
painful.
yep. And it wasn't like I was customer service. Farmer called, hey, this doesn't work. And I had to call customer service. So it
Oh,
was like the shitty end of it. And I
yeah.
was like, this sucks.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would suck.
Yeah. Like, and then just sitting behind a desk. I wanted to be out with people
Yeah.
talking.
I just can't sit on the phone all day. That is
No.
just not my cup of tea. I just cannot do it.
Like, we're on the phone all the
We're
day, but
on the
it's not
phone,
like
but it's like
that.
random things here and there.
Yeah.
If I had to call into customer service for something painful every day, I would lose it.
That's literally, I would be on customer service for like 2 hours and then like have a break. And then somebody else would call and it's like another 2 hours, go to lunch, come back. And
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. I can do
Pass.
it. Yep. I was like, somebody's got to do it. Somebody, it's probably a great job. It was not for me.
Yeah.
I did not last very long. So that 2015, I was between my 2 years. I finished up my schooling and then turned around and went right back to massage school. That
Well, here's a question for you.
That's great.
Where do you think you're going to be in 10 years?
I know I'm not going to do it. So it's kind of a running thing where like a massage therapist has 10 years. And then after that, it's either they're in it forever or that's when they retire because like either your body just kind of gives out or you cut back enough and you can do it forever. So I do love it. I want to stick with it as much as possible, but I know that that's not my forever career. But I love managing the business. I love supporting the girls down there and stuff. So I think since we bought our commercial space, I would always manage Therapeutic Body Works, help people come in and out with
Right.
it. I love that. But I do it one day a week.
Right.
So I think it's perfect right now. I don't think I ever want more than that. But I see myself doing real estate. I actually just saw a gal. She was 100 years old, still a
That's
real
funny.
estate
I
agent.
saw that too.
Yeah, I was like, I just saw that this morning and I was like, it's true. You could do it. Like
You
it's
could.
stressful. But the nice part is with real estate, yeah, you can cut back and not do as much. You can always slow down.
Yeah.
You can always pick up. But like I see myself running that train.
So
like
to all
you
my
just get
younger
better.
clients out there, you may have to push me in and out of the houses, but we're gonna get there.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe when I'm in a wheelchair, it won't be as bad. I'll be like, yeah, go check up the upstairs.
Yeah.
I'll just chill down here. But yeah, no, I think that it'd be, yeah, it's a good career to
It
have
is,
forever.
yeah.
It's stressful. It's 100% stressful. But when I'm not busy, it's more stressful.
I went and got
Because I'm
my
like,
hair
what am I
cut.
doing?
Well, I get my hair cut regularly, but I got it cut like
yeah.
6 months ago, and she's like, getting pretty light up here. I'm like, thanks. I
Thanks.
noticed. I
It's-
feel it.
Do redheads dye their hair? I've never seen like women redheads probably.
I don't
but
think so. I'm just gonna embrace the white. It's gonna go from red to white, and it's gonna be whatever.
I can picture it though. That's the funny part. You're gonna be like that white-haired teacher, like the bright white.
The nice thing is the whiter my hair gets, the darker my skin will be.
There you go.
Yeah.
You look so tan.
I'll look so tan.
on
Yeah.
vacations. No, I think that it's definitely a career that is stressful. I think a lot of people, and we see this all the time, when somebody goes from for sale by owner into working with a real estate agent, they're like, oh my gosh. They're like, I didn't realize it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what we try to tell you, but we also don't want to scare you.
Right.
People have done for sale by owners. Okay. But they do not realize it. And the moment they get through it, they're like, I would never do it again.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, talk to those people. Sometimes people might get a great transaction super easy, or they get somebody who's bought with somebody else before, something to where it's not so bad. But a lot of times you don't realize how much is behind the scenes
Right.
that you don't even deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Buyers and sellers, they'll buy and sell and they'll be like, yeah, it was so easy with my real estate agent. And they just think, oh, I could do this myself.
Right.
But they don't realize how much we actually did
Yeah.
on the backside. So, and how much communication goes on with it. Because Yeah, and I don't know. I don't want to say lenders don't want to work with people who are for sale by owner stuff,
Well, it's
but
a
it is
challenge on
harder
their
for
part
them.
because they bring in a napkin with this written down, and it's like,
Yes.
okay, what do I do with this?
Yeah,
And who's
exactly.
supposed to pay for what, and how is this going to work, and when are you closing?
Yes. And then it's like, I don't know. Here you go. You figure it out. It's not their job though. Like
No,
they need the
no,
end
technically
stuff.
they can't even help you with it. So
Exactly.
yeah,
So it's like it's so hard when somebody thinks it's just gonna be a walk in the park
right.
and you're not trying to sit here and be like, "No, my job's
And
really
once in a
hard."
while, you get really lucky, and somebody walks in with a huge bag of cash and says, "Here you go," and then you're done. But
Yeah.
not very
But
often.
even then you can't do it
You
sometimes.
shouldn't because
Yeah,
you never
it's
know what
like
you're inheriting for debt and other things.
exactly. But I don't know. I think that it's hard. Real estate's hard, and I think the stressful part of it is you're trying to convince somebody that you're worth it all the time. But when somebody goes to like McDonald's or they go to the hospital or they go, any other like career, they're not like, is this really worth it? Like, I really want to save $100 more.
Yeah, there are
So I'm not
some
gonna hire you.
fast food places that
It's
I
not
would
worth
say are not,
it. It's not. If you can
but a
go,
lot of them are good in
yeah,
this town. So
yeah. If you could go somewhere though in another career and be like, say, like not question them, but you're gonna question a realtor when it's like a house sale that you're gonna do once every 10 to 15 years.
mhm.
Maybe, maybe you should not.
Yeah.
Not. It's not that you should not question us. Go ahead and question us, but because we can tell you how we're
Right.
worth it, but sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes people think that we're not as worth it. We're worth it. I promise. I'm worth
Yeah.
it. I'm worth it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You learn a lot. I don't know. You learn a lot every transaction.
And there's not there's not a single one that's the same. Not any chance of the means that there's one that's the same because you were dealing with trusts and power of attorneys and judgments and liens and different personalities, and there's just all sorts of things that equate to a lot of different variables in a transaction.
I had a buyer ask me, "Okay, would you buy this house?" Don't ask me that. Like you're gonna ask me that, but I'm like, here's my thought. You're the one who's living there. I'm like, here's what I can tell you about the value of it. Here's what I can tell you about what's gonna probably look like in a couple of years if you decide to
Hmm.
sell it. I was like, overall, here's what I can see in the photos because I didn't even look at the house in person. Like, I was like, here's what I can give you, but I was like, but none of that matters. How do you feel in the
Right.
house? Is this something you want to be at?
Yep.
And then working with another buyer and it's hard sometimes to keep some of my opinions to myself and imagine that.
That's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe, but no, it's a younger bachelor and we're friends with him and stuff, and I was like, here's the thing, if I could go back to when Randy and I were first buying, this is what I would do. If I could rewind 8 years ago, this is what I would do. We didn't have kids, we weren't married yet. It's thinking about where we're at now, because even back then I wasn't a real estate agent, so like now what I know, this is what I would do. So buy this house, fix it up, live in it for a while. When you're ready for the next house, rent it out
But there's,
because
it really
it
depends on the
cuts.
person because, like, you might like one house, I might hate that house.
Yeah,
You might see value in it, I might not. You might be able to work on it. Maybe I couldn't even hardly sweep the floor. So
yeah,
it's like there's just total different personalities.
yeah,
And you can't say, yeah, I think you should buy this house because you could do these things when maybe you have no desire to do any of those things.
yeah. And like some people, I don't really want to work with renters. Like we've seen it before where you try to sell a house with a renter in it and it's just either not well taken care of or it's just difficult.
Mhm.
And then or you have a renter who one person's great, the next person's not, so it's difficult. So like trying to deal with that, I personally, I'm like, this just not my cup of tea. But it's somebody else, they have hundreds. There's people in town who have 50 rentals.
Mhm.
They love it, they're great, they can manage it great, that's their full-time job.
Right.
So it's fine for somebody else, but it's like, so I'm over here like, oh, I'd rent it out, but then I'm like, well, I maybe wouldn't.
Right.
I'd probably sell it, but I'd see where the market's at.
Yep.
In 2 years and go
Yeah.
from there, because some people are getting these people are getting their house for 2% back in 2021. You should probably keep it.
Hmm.
You should probably not sell it and
Right.
rent it out and keep it
Depends
because
on the value.
yeah, I was like, it might be worth it. But
If your house is beautiful and move-in ready and has no flaws, then I would sell
yep, I would not rent it.
it.
If it's But that's the other thing. Like, not saying that you should rent out if you just have a crappy house. Like, you don't do
No,
that to
not
people.
at all.
But
But if it's
there
like
is houses
if
that
it's like something you just redid or something, I
Yeah.
would just sell it because there's so many buyers looking for houses that are just move-in ready.
Yes, exactly. And I don't know. I think that, like, going back 10 years ago and stuff, like you said, the market is ever changing. I saw somebody say, you know, you can't sit here and do a month to month market analysis. You're doing transaction of what, like, not, how does it go? It's not really the comparisons right now of what sold a year ago. It's kind of what price drops you just had last week type of thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the market changes that quickly. But right now,
Yeah,
I think your market's pretty stable here.
Yeah.
Here. I wouldn't say it's stable everywhere.
Yeah, you got to kind of take consideration of what's sold, what's active,
Yeah.
what's pending. You know, some of the actives that are out there doesn't really mean that that's what you should list your house for, because if they're active, that means they haven't sold.
Right. And sometimes the realtor doesn't have all the control of that.
Right.
Even it's a lot of seller options and
Right.
their needs and stuff too. Some people, I showed a house and yesterday they're like, why is it listed this high? I'm like, because the people need that much out of it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily that the value is that, but that's why it's sitting there. So it's kind of like, it's hard to have that.
And sometimes somebody walks in and says, gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
That's not like the right person.
It's all about perception, a lot of it.
Yep. And it could be that much. That's the thing. It's not that their appraised value is like, it's totally off. It's just to the right person.
Right.
So 10 years ago, are you happy? Like, if you could go back then and see yourself now, would you be
I
like,
would have never guessed that.
Yeah, you would have been surprised?
I would have been surprised.
Yeah. Were you actually, like, so 10 years ago, how long have you been an agent?
9.5. So I was probably doing my real estate classes.
Yeah. So you probably had the thought, but you never probably sat there doing your classes thinking.
Actually, 10 years ago is probably about exactly when I started doing my classes.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So then you just started doing that, and here you are, owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, managing all of us crazy kids here.
Well, yeah, they tell me what to do. So
we try to. It doesn't work very well. You're like, no, that's not going to be there. No, I think that 10 years ago, I definitely didn't see myself here.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting to look back.
Yeah, it's great. I'm happy with it.
We'll see where we are in 10 years.
Yeah. Well, that's even Randy started his career 4 or 5 years ago in construction, and it works so well with real estate. Mm-hmm. So love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
Yes, you'll see us here in another 10 years.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. I'll have to wheel Sean up here.
Yep.
For the elevator.
We might have to get
Montgomery's going to get an elevator.
We're going to have to get a main floor room for this, but it is what it is.
There's an extra room.
In 10 years, I hope I don't need a wheelchair.
I hope not, but...
I won't even be 50 yet. Come on.
The way you're rolling, you never know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
Take
like,
care.
Comment, and subscribe.
Yes. Have a great
week.
And remember, who you work with matters.